Welcome to the Living Connected podcast. I'm your host, Mallory Meyer. I'm a multi-six-figure online entrepreneur, founder of White Wolf Reiki, and creator of the Frequency Business Mastery School. I weave together the metaphysical with the science of the subconscious mind and timeless business principles to help you take your passion for serving and empowering others full time. I'm not just here to teach you how to build a profitable and aligned business, but to invite in more authenticity, awareness, clarity, and certainty in what, who, and how you serve. In return, to generate more sales as you cultivate greater confidence and wealth through deeper self-sovereignty and advocacy, inviting in a trauma-sensitive approach to protocols and processes in our marketing and selling as we honor each client's humanity in the process of living more connected. This podcast is here to connect you further to your self-mastery for business, your lifestyle, and of course, your mindset. Join me on my mission to uplift and elevate the collective to love and light. I'm currently in a little bit of denial that this is already the last week of August and we're embracing September. I'm already seeing all the marketing campaigns for pumpkin spice lattes, and just within at least British Columbia where I live, we had such a delayed start to our summer that as much as I love the season of fall, I'm not ready to accept that it's here to be embraced. We actually just came out of a few days in the mountains near a provincial park, and I'm just in utter gratitude, almost in that whole pinch me, this can't be real, that this is our life, especially growing up with such a city environment and lack of connection to nature. It's just so profound, the benefits that it has for us. And before diving into the conversation today around Reiki and my journey in really connecting in with the Arcturians specifically, one aspect I do want to highlight in what nature can offer us. So because our subconscious doesn't know the difference between real or imagined, one of the exercises that I always bring forward when I'm in nature is to look at my environment and get curious with a state or a feeling that I'm really looking to elicit and bring forward within myself. Essentially, it's this technique called anchoring, but it's a little bit of a shift in how the modality is practiced when I'm in nature. And what I mean by this is, for instance, when we were immersed in the mountains, just looking at this glacier and the way that the glacier comes down and creates so much rigidity, structure to the mountain itself, through the crevices of the water pouring down, seeing how impactful water is on this mountain, along with just being in the presence of the mountain and the power of that. And as I just hold that feeling of this impact, this power for 10 seconds more, just at least 10 seconds, I can already feel the physiology of my body start to shift. I feel more impactful. I feel more powerful. And we can do this in so many different elements of our natural environment, but it's really an opportunity to invite in, if you are seeking a feeling or a state external to you, it can be available in your environment. Just going out and finding it in so many beautiful ways, I assure you, will offer you so much opportunity to witness just the abundance in all that's available to you, within you right now. This mindset of mine, though, wasn't always one that I had consistently held. I was a little bit more perhaps in the quote-unquote victim mindset in my teens, in my 20s, really looking at how things were happening to me versus happening for me. Not being at cause and having the ownership in the responsibility that I was taking to create this reality that I ever so desired. And outside of my trainings through neuro-linguistic programming and life and success coaching, really working on deeper levels of inner healing, one of the biggest aspects that really invited in more connection to my emotional awareness, regulation, self was Reiki. Reiki, in the simplest form to break down for anyone that may be new to even the word itself, is separating it as universal or spiritual, and then the key being life force or energy. And in moving through Reiki certifications, you have 3 different levels of Reiki: 1, 2, and Mastery. You start to enhance and expand your awareness and your channel, opening up to life force energy as you are a conduit and vessel for sharing that healing with others, as well as operating in a place where you can receive self-healing. Reiki has also been something to really acknowledge. As it empowers you, you empower others. And it works on our 4 bodies of spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental. But this isn't intended to be a Reiki history lesson for you. If you are curious, of course, in learning more, we dive into a lot of the history and what Reiki is here to offer and support you in within Reiki Level 1 certification, which I will be sharing more at the end of this episode as well. What I really want to focus in on today is the journey that Reiki expanded and opened up for me, along with inviting in this work with the Arcturians and who the Arcturians are as well. Within each and every certification and level that I moved forward within my Reiki journey, there was deeper levels of healing when it came to the self-acceptance, self-love, self-advocacy, the self-awareness, you name it. And truly in opening up my channel, the intuitive sides of whether it's your clairsentience in leaning into the feeling of energies, foreign energies that come around you, especially if you haven't developed a strong boundary with your energies, really starting to pick that up and have that sensation on your body as well. Or the claircognizance of really starting to understand what this deep knowing, what my gut had always been telling me, but I hadn't quite always necessarily acknowledged, feeling more confident to take action on those feelings. And clairvoyance, having this, I would say, is a little bit less for myself, aside from when I'm in a mediumship practice, but having the ability to visualize, to see images and representations of sight within your mind's eye. And then lastly, clairaudience is another very core clair of the 4 prominent clairs, and that really just being more of a hearing opening up of the sounds coming forward. You might hear even a lot of ringing as you up level and go through higher levels of attunement yourself energetically to bring you into that calibration to receive the energy. I kind of digress because when we talk about energy, I can just go on and on with different tangents. So just reining myself back in here and tapping into where it really brought me in heightening my clairs and really stepping into this greater level of awareness within myself was leading me towards my highest aligned purpose and starting to shed and dismantle aspects of my life that weren't meant to be on that path, on that journey. And that could have looked like parts of my career, individuals in my life. And it was really even looking at how relationships were no longer in true congruency into who I was becoming. And so when we moved to this small little mountain town called Squamish, it was something that I was very reluctant to at first. We had only spent a year at this point living in Vancouver, BC, and I felt like there was still a lot of untapped potential for us to explore, for us to live. And Squamish essentially just stumbled into our laps. And after some kicking and screaming, at least emotionally within my body, there was a piece of acceptance and wonder to see what could be possible for us to build a life in this very small mountain town. And now it's been almost 3 years, and I can't quite imagine what could have not unfolded if we hadn't chosen to come here. And not only does this have to do with the deep connection and reverence that really came forward in being so immersed with nature, but also more so than anything, the peace, the tranquility, the serenity, and the calmness that this environment offers. And it was almost not even recognizing the overstimulation still some lack of connection within myself that was being lived out while within a city and taking on as well so much energy, and really coming back to quieting that noise and coming back within. And this was truly just such a monumental moment, more so than anything else, because it was really beginning this new practice of setting and declaring intentions of which I was seeking to bring forward, and truly starting to co-create with the universe and having that trust and faith at this time that it wasn't necessarily all on me. Our environment, nature, the universe is directly communicating with us, but sometimes we can be so blinded or not necessarily even present to witness the messages that are being received. And this is how I truly stumbled upon the Arcturians. At this point, I had already developed my work as an Akashic record reader and completed my mediumship training, and I was really seeking out what could be next to really actually bring forward this appetite that I was holding for tapping more into light language and learning the codes, as well as bringing forth a deeper level of channeling into my work. So as with everything here, I really put that intention outwards without necessarily holding a timeline of needing it to appear, needing a master or a teacher to come forward, and just bring in that awareness piece as it was a main part of my focus in my mind. And could I have stumbled upon my connection with the Arcturians without being certified within Reiki? Absolutely. But I do feel quite confident in the sense of I really still had to go through tapping into different beta and theta states of my own to release patterns, self-limiting conditions that weren't really allowing me to even have that lens open to receive them. Ultimately, just getting out of my own way. You may have also had an experience as a very young child where, whether it was intentional or not, you closed your third eye. This is commonly coming forward in individuals in a place within their lives feeling safe and secure within themselves and curious to reopen their third eye and feeling that safety and security. But it truly, whether it is that you go see a healer and do some work, or just simply even bringing that intention and focus forward and saying that out loud, allowing the universe, allowing your masters, teachers, and loved ones to know that you are ready to have your third eye open. So in truly cracking open my own third eye within this journey in itself over those few years and stepping into this connection with the Arcturians, one of the first signs that actually came forward was seeing a podcast come up on my favorite list, and the word Arcturian was in the podcast name. At this point in time, I had no idea what Arcturian even meant. It just came forward, so I got curious to listen to this episode and learn a little bit more about someone's personal journey and connecting in with the Arcturians themselves. The second sign was also presented in a podcast again, but this time Arcturian wasn't in the title of the podcast itself. It was actually just something that sporadically came up through conversation. And then finally was scrolling through my Instagram one day, and someone that I had followed for some time had introduced this brand new course connecting in with the Arcturians. And those three alone in the span of the week piqued my interest and affirmed for me that this was something to take that next step, to go and explore a little bit further and build up my knowledge and skill set here. You may be familiar with the word Starseed already, but if you are not, I'm going to actually share with you some Arcturian characteristics and skill sets, because in doing this work and exploring more, relating more deeply within understanding these characteristics and skill sets of their own, it was just such an epiphany. It was another kind of homecoming to myself and understanding as this makes so much sense into who I am. So for those of us here on this School of Earth, Arcturian Starseed characteristics that may align and resonate with you are aspects of looking at we are in service, creative artists of the thought and mind. We have a lot of influence and are wise. We're also quiet and prefer to be in the background. From childhood, we've been searching for purpose. Dissatisfaction is really felt. Otherwise, we're in small, close relationships, and people are drawn to our energy. We hold energy very well. We can also become impatient with those not willing to put in the practice and always feel like we need to accomplish something. It's really hard to sit still. At the end of the day, really looking at it as pathfinders on search of a new way of doing things. And this brings me to the skill sets of an Arcturian Starseed. Really working with the laws of the universe, having an incredible sense of memory, being able to break down complicated patterns. Body, soul, spirit are in harmony perfectly, very tech-oriented, and have developed an ability to transcend the ego. There's just an innate ability to shift consciousness at a rapid pace and barrel through. Now, I don't know for yourself, but at least for me, and even revisiting these characteristics and skill sets, it is so deeply within my body of trust and knowing that this is exactly my galactic star, my soul star, and being that Arcturian Starseed. Ways of which this reconnection with my Arcturian soul family and also essentially reawakening in some sense has brought forward for myself in my work is a new level of transcendence in the work that I offer as quantum energy healing sessions, my Reiki focus and practice as well, bridging the gap and inviting in their frequencies, their teachings. It's also been incorporated into Frequency Business Mastery School, how to instantly shift our confidence, our energy through, again, their teachings, which unfolded for myself within the course that I took. We also look into what codes within ourselves may be dormant that need to be awakened. So if you've ever been feeling lost or confused on your path, simply come back to nature, to yourself, and ask for some messages and start playing and receiving from the universe. And of course, there are these, whether it's modalities, these teachings, this form of connection and work that can truly help to heighten that for us. But there is also this capacity to which you can do so now. And of course, whether you are a business owner, service provider, healer already, or even you are just someone completely brand new and are curious about Reiki, whether again that is to elevate the services with your clients or just start to establish a deeper connection with yourself, I invite you to the upcoming Reiki certifications within September 2022. It will be Reiki Level 2 online certification, and in October, we commence Reiki Mastery. The next level of Reiki Level 1, 2, and Mastery will unfold again in 2023, but feel free to always reach out if you are seeking a more one-to-one aspect of certification. Come find me on Instagram and let me know, are you an Arcturian Starseed? If you're an energy healer desiring to build and scale a profitable and aligned business, there are 2 evergreen opportunities to explore to take that next step together. One is my 10-week course, mastermind, and coaching accelerator known as Frequency Business Mastery School. This is more than just your normal one-to-one course and coaching program. It truly fills the gap that most programs fail to address with this subconscious reprogramming and identity shifts that take place within you. It has self-paced modules, but the program also has these subconscious elements, so we're busting through the blocks that have kept you from experiencing the success that you want, while simultaneously regulating your nervous system to calmly and safely expand your energetics towards that which you do desire to create in your business. You also have teachings and lessons to enhance your psychic gifts and biohack your energy with the tools provided. All of this is delivered into your hands so you can feel empowered and confident, implementing beyond this program even when blocks arrive in the future. Secondly, I have 1 spot open next month to onboard a new one-to-one 6-month client. to receive that highest level of support and resources as you choose to build and scale a business. Links for each are available in the show notes.